I remember when these things were new. I love the SC400. It's Lexus's little two-door coupe. These things are amazing. Let's find out what's wrong with it. This is Tyler Hoover's from Hoovie's Garage, 1995 Lexus SC400. How many of you guys remember these things being on the road? They're iconic. There's a huge cult following for these cars, just like the Nissan 240. We got the Nissan 300ZX, all these really cool Japanese sports cars. This was definitely in that era. This one's a V8 though. What's interesting about this one is it has 91,000 miles on it. And it still has the original 30-year-old timing belt on it. These things are tanks. They're almost indestructible. And I think they look amazing. I've always wanted one of these cars, and I tried to work a deal with Hoovie on in-store credit to acquire this SC400, and he said, "Wizard, absolutely not. Hands off, this one's mine." Too bad. Anyways, let's take a look around this thing. How did he do? Here's the front of this SC400. You can see right away it has gold badging. You guys remember the mid-90s, the gold badging was iconic. It was a baller status. There's more in the back. The headlights are a little clouded. We may offer a little cleaning service for him that'll clear those up and make them nice and clean again, clear. This has the pearl white paint on it. It is just so beautiful. This is the era of 16-inch wheels, and these have a little bit of scuffing on the center caps, but the wheels are fine. No dents, no damage, no rust. There's our gold badging. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. We do have a little jumper cable sticking out here so the trunk doesn't lock itself. The battery is disconnected. And on the other side, again, this thing is a time capsule. It is in very good condition. Let's hop under the hood. Here is our 4-liter V8, and as you can see, Danielson has already decided to dive in. We're going to do timing belt, water pump, and all the things on this and get the services up to date. But I want to show you guys this timing belt. You can see there's cracks all through the rubber. I don't know if the cords are cracked, but the rubber is starting to deteriorate really badly. You can see a little bit of what used to be the writing on here. There's not much left of this timing belt other than just cracked rubber. Toyota has gone to timing chains today, but back then a lot of everything was timing belts. A lot of cars had those back then. But this one, 91,000 miles, no service history, no records of it ever being done, no documentation or decals under the hood saying timing belt service done at such and such date. With all the cracks that are in that rubber, I can say that's a 30-year-old 1995 timing belt. You'll have to go to Hoovie's Garage and check out the story behind this car. It's pretty interesting on how he acquired it or how the previous owner acquired it. But the engine runs perfect. But there's one thing under the hood that is starting to fail that has stopped the heater from working. Let me show you that. So this little vacuum pod here is our heater valve, and it has failed. So when you turn on the heater, all the things try to operate, but no heat goes into the heater core because this has failed, and we're going to get that replaced so Hoovie can have heat again. Luckily the heater core is not leaking, or I don't have to dive into that. Just take care of the heater valve out here and it'll have heat again. I want to show you another interesting thing about this car with the radiator fan. It's not electric. You can see it has a hydraulic motor. That's right, power steering. Your power steering pump runs your fan. I don't want to spin it too much or it'll squirt fluid everywhere, but power steering fluid goes in here, spins the fan, and goes back to the reservoir. I've seen some newer Chrysler vehicles do the power steering fan thing, but I didn't know that Lexus was doing this all the way back in '95. Pretty interesting to see that. Danielson cracked those loose and a bunch of fluid came out, which is normal. And I was like, how often do you take a fan off and fluid comes out? And he goes, haven't done that in a long time. So pretty interesting. Definitely wanted to show you that. So we're doing timing belt service, fluid, spark plug wires, and all the services that normally would need to be done at 91,000 miles. So this thing is trustworthy and safe, and Tyler can enjoy it without worrying about a timing belt breaking. Like he mentioned in his video, the 4-liter here that they put in this engine, they changed a few things for a little bit more power, and in doing so, made this engine an interference engine. So if the timing belt breaks on an SC400, yes, we can bend valves and send this engine to the promised land. We don't want to do that. So definitely time to take care of that. Let's let Mrs. Wizard show you guys around the 1995 interior. It's beautiful. I love it.
Yes, that is your gauge cluster today. Yes, I cannot show you anymore because the battery is disconnected. So that's it. I'm so sorry. You'll have to Google what a picture looks like on another one. But before we get going too far and I close the door, Wizard made sure I wanted to point out that look at the hinges. They're massive, gargantuan, and this is really not that big of a door, but isn't that crazy? And it's not even creaking or popping like most people's knees would be if, you know, they were as old as this car. Our leather dash is in really good shape. Everything is looking really nice. Wizard was correct. The interior is presenting very well. Got nice wood trim. As we move down here, we have our controls. Very simplistic because that is very much a Toyota thing to do. Not a whole lot going on there, but one thing that's interesting is what is this? Voila! Yeah, that is our very kind of a winged cup holder. But at least it still works and it folds up nicely. So as we move back, we can see we have just simple controls for our gear selector. We have a nice little hidey spot there with a ashtray and some secret paper in there. Tyler left. Have our heated seats, and we have, it says push, let's push, and yet another cup holder. So I like how they're hiding their cup holders. Open up our center console, very clean, couple dust motes, but that's about it. As we get to the passenger seat, yes, those are the owner's manual. So even though it didn't come with history of any of the other work being done on this car, we do have the owner's manual. But the seat's in nice shape. With as few miles as this has, it should be in pretty good condition. Door card also just as nice. So look at our back seat. Well, we have a little bit of a scuff there in the center, but I bet that could just get wiped off. But one thing I am noting is the lack of leg room back there. So if you were a tall person in the passenger seat and a tall person in the back seat, not going to do well. Somebody's losing some knees. But the headliner got a few marks as well. Sorry, Tyler. As we get back to our steering wheel, we have our lovely Lexus symbol embossed into it. We've got a spot where it says a horn, I guess that's what it is. Nothing fancy there. We've got our control for our cruise control back there, but that is it. No other buttons, nothing else, you know, mucking up the steering wheel, because this is 1995. We didn't do that back then. Let's go ahead and get this up in the air and see what it looks like on the underneath.
Well, today you'll see we have on the ground our little catch pan. It's thin, but it can hold like 20 quarts or something, a whole lot. It's very, very handy to just slide under a car and catch fluids without having to lift it too high. We are going to see, as we get to the radiator here, there's a lot of fluid where Danielson's been working on it. He just recently was working on it, so that's why we see the fluid leaks going on here. It's not that the car's leaking, it's that we opened up some lines, so not a big deal there. The pads are 80% remaining. Struts are not blown. Nothing loose. And sway bar link is good. Nice thick brakes over here. Strut is dry. Sway bar link is good. Nothing loose there. It looks like they recently put on a new alternator that looks like a brand new one, so that's good. Our engine oil pan, this little lower pan, is dry. Not much going on there. Our transmission bell housing is dry, but the pan is not. You can see all these little bolts along here are wet, and this drain plug is wet. So the pan gasket is starting to leak. We'll go ahead and service it with only 91,000 miles on it. I feel confident and assured that nothing bad's going to happen. We'll do filter, fluid, and service, and also stop the leak. This is about the era that Lexus was trying to keep up with Mercedes-Benz. We know with the LS400, they're trying to compete with them. It has some of their technology on it. Take a look at this flex disc. It's in good shape, it's not cracked, but if you didn't know any better, you'd think you were underneath an E320 or some sort of a Mercedes or something, but no, that's a Lexus. Our transmission mount is good, it's not collapsed. Our exhaust is dual, but it goes into single here with a little chamber. It goes back to duals again, back here with some resonators and some mufflers out back. Here again is another flex disc, not cracked, not damaged. Our differential is not leaking anything. Take a look at these wheels. Someone has put new struts all the way around this OES Spectrum brand, OE Spectrum, whatever you want to call it. That's like Parts House, O'Reilly's, AutoZone, whatever. So those have been put on. Sway bar links are good. Brakes are 80-90%. And the CV shafts are not leaking anything. Looks like it's been sitting for a little while. When you see cobwebs and things like this, that means it's been stationary. CV boots are good. Strut is dry. Again, those have been replaced. Nothing loose, and brakes are good. And out back we do have dual exhaust, and then just like we have our wonderful gold emblems from the 90s, we also have gold exhaust tips. Take a look. Beautiful. It needs polished up, but totally in line with the era. Let's take a look at these date codes on the tires. If you're also wondering if a vehicle's been sitting a long time, you can check the brake rotors. You can see there's a little bit of pitting going on. It probably sat for quite a while and it started being driven again. So it's not a big problem. It's just once you get going again, it'll clear it off. As long as the rotors aren't warped or they're severely rusted, you'll be fine. It's not a big deal. On these tires, they are from 2017, 40th week, which makes them about 8 years old. But they're like brand new, very thick. Being that they're not 10 years old, I would say go ahead and use these. They're probably fine. Let's get this SC back on the ground. So it really doesn't need a whole lot to make this thing cherry again, and I believe the values of these are going to go up. You guys remember in the early 90s, the rap artist Notorious B.I.G.? He had an SC400. He absolutely loved the Lexus SC400. I think he mentions it in some of his songs that he rapped. But these were iconic, like I mentioned, in the early 90s. It was definitely a status symbol to have one of these. They had an SC300 and an SC400, this one being the V8. The 300 was an inline 6. I sent a picture of this to Jared from the Questionable Garage. You guys probably watch his channel. If you don't, you really should. It's a really great channel. And I said, look at Hoovie's new acquisition. Being that he was a Toyota master technician, he is a Toyota wizard. He said, I gotta have it. How much? I said, no, man, I already tried. I tried to get this from Hoovie. He won't let it go. His claws are pretty deep into this SC400, and I don't blame him. There's not many left that are in stock, pristine condition like this one is. It does need timing belt and some services and headlights polish and some things, but it won't take tens of thousands of dollars to make this thing cherry. It's really, really nice. I rode in it with Hoovie the other day to go get lunch, and it even has that Lexus Toyota smell from the 90s. It's intoxicating. It's really nice. The question could be asked about all the rubber bushings on this car, the control arms and trailing arms and all the different parts and pieces where have rubber bushings and things. I always say if the rubber's not cracked or destroyed, it's still pliable and it's holding its position properly, leave it alone. There's no reason to just tear everything apart. I've seen situations where a car collector has taken their car apart only to find out half the parts aren't available anymore, or the new parts that are available are substandard and not as good as the older rubber or their older parts. And they end up taking something that really wasn't a big problem and making a huge problem out of it. And they're like, oh my God, I should have just left this thing alone. Now, if they're deteriorated and it's causing the alignment to be all out of whack or it's riding really weird, yes, you've got to do it. But if the rubber's intact, leave it alone. On these older cars, when you have small leaks like we saw in the transmission oil pan, when do you take care of that? I always say when the puddle gets bigger than about a tennis ball. If it leaves a puddle bigger than that, it's time to take care of it. If it's a few drips here or there and you can tolerate it, you know, maybe you can put that off to a future date when you want to take time to do it. But if it's leaving big puddles, and this one's starting to leave some puddles, it's definitely time to take care of it. The last thing that we're going to be taking care of is that it's very common. You turn on the radio, but there's no sound. And this has the Nakamichi stereo, which is a very, very high-end sounding stereo. The amp that's in the trunk has failed. Let's take a quick look at that amp that's in the trunk.
Wizard, we're doing a video. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I was basking in the glory of all the glory that is these beautiful gold badges. You just don't see this anymore. And yes, I do see this little tongue sticking out. It does have a keyhole where you can unlatch the trunk, but it's just easier to just set it down on this. And Danielson's he'll be going back and forth a lot in this, and he can just open it and close it as needed without having to get the key. Again, the battery is disconnected. But let me show you guys where the amp is at. Right down there, you see it looks like a little radiator grill. It's aluminum colored. That is the Nakamichi amp. But take a look at the glory of this beautiful 90s CD changer, guys. 12 disc changer in 1995, you were a baller if you had this. It even looks like the 90s, guys. So there's a lot of people out there who would say that old stereo is no good, just rip it out and put a Pioneer, blah, blah, blah. No, I am a strong advocate, especially on these older cars. All it needs is a new amp. The rest of the system works, the CD changer works. Leave it alone. Do you know how many cars I've worked on, just like this Lamborghini, that's had tons of aftermarket garbage in it? I pulled out 4 carts full of wires and CD changers and radar detectors and garbage. And the first thing he did when he bought the car, he said, "Wizard, can you rip that garbage out of my car?" I said, "Sure." And we did it. It's clean. Everything's back stock now. It's beautiful. Same situation here. 20 years from now, when these are worth 20, 30, 40 grand, who knows what they'll be worth. As a buyer, if I saw that you ripped out the CD changer and put a Pioneer head unit and all this, I'm going to cut my price in half. I'm not paying top dollar when you ripped it all out. Leave it alone. Make it all work as stock. That's part of the charm of being in this car, is taking a trip back to 1995. So when these first came out, were they rare? No, they weren't really rare or super special. I mean, they were an awesome, iconic car. But what makes them so special is that being that it was so iconic in the 90s, and here we arrive 30 years later to the year 2025, there's not many of these left that haven't been roached out, destroyed. Some teenage kid got a hold of it and just destroyed it. To find one that's just like it was in 1995, and for those of us who were kids back then or alive in the 90s, it's like taking a trip back in time to a simpler time when cars weren't so full of touch screens and all this stuff. This is becoming rare, like I just mentioned, because of most of them are wrecked, they're in a salvage yard, they've been trashed, they've been treated very poorly. Of all the SC300s and 400s that were ever created, probably 25% of them are left like this, that are in really good shape. I believe this is going to be a collector car. I believe the value is just going to go up and up and up. I'm not sure the exact price that Hoovie paid for this, but he got a really good deal. He stole this car. And just like I mentioned, I tried to do a deal with him where I could take possession of this car. He said, "No, there's something about this car. I believe it's going to be worth a lot of money someday. I don't want to let this one go." It might be another 10 or 15 years before he found a deal like this again on a really nice, pristine SC400. So I don't blame him there. Definitely wanted to get a video out to you guys to show you this beautiful gold badged Lexus SC400 in all of its glory, because I know you guys out there, car people, you love this car too. I love this car. It's really amazing. And how it had the original timing belt on it from 1995. I don't know how it hasn't broken. I'm glad it didn't break. It's definitely getting taken care of now by Danielson. And to show you guys how, if you find one of these cars, any kind of car that's very collectible or special, don't rip the guts out, don't tear it up. Put it back the way that it was. You'll increase the value and it'll be more enjoyable and more nostalgic that way. If you're curious what kind of tools that we're using on this SC400 or going to use any other car in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. A lot of the tools we use in the shop are for sale there. They're great gift ideas for Christmas. And if you purchase any of them, we get a small cut and we really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's so many more videos to come. Thanks for watching.